Hello everyone, I'm Major Jip, and today I'm just going to take a quick look at Windows 10, the operating system that Microsoft's going to be releasing as a full operating system sometime mid-next year, as I believe what their current date is. And they have a tech demo essentially out online right now of what the operating system is going to be like when it does come out, and I just want to take a look at it because I wasn't I wasn't the biggest fan of Windows 8. We'll put it like that. I didn't care for it at all. The Metro UI, and a lot of people that also use that operating system had a similar feeling. A lot of laptops were still being made without touch screens. Desktops were coming with Windows 8 8.1 with no start menu. Bit of a mess, in my opinion, anyway. So this does have a start menu. The most I know about this operating system right now is it's like Windows 8 with a start menu that still has kind of tiles in the start menu and stuff like that. So this is the installation, as you can probably see. I haven't done anything with this operating system. I haven't installed it yet. And I'm making this video mostly for my reference, or because I was going to install it anyway, just to see what it's like. Now we can install now. There's also, this is a very reminiscent of the Windows 8 installation, where you have install now. You can also repair your computer. I believe this is just for the sort of tech demo. Uninstall preview, advanced options. And yeah, it still has the sort of tiles and the back button there and things like that. It's very Windows 8-esque so far without turning the thing on, so now I'm gonna... Alright, so we're back to that window. I forgot going into this, you essentially have to turn the computer off and back on to get back, as far as I know. Like I say, as far as I know. I'm not entirely certain, but that's why I turned it off and then I turned it back on again. Now setup is starting, which is always a good start. I don't have too much to actually say about this operating system. I mean, I can pretty much just rant about how aggravating it is to have Windows 8 onto computers, and then have people ask you, well, is there any way to get rid of that when you're when they have their computer have work done to the computer? Oh, I don't like the Metro interface, or I don't like those tiles that it keeps opening, and stuff like that. So, and you can install third-party applications to get a start menu, but then you still have random times that you open applications that are made for the Metro UI, and it loads up a whole different way, and I don't like it. Anyway, as you can see, Windows setup is getting files ready for installation, so it's just like Windows 7 and Windows 8 installation. So I'm going to pause right here, let it install, and I guess turn it back on when something interesting is happening. Alright, so after quite a bit of waiting for it to install, we are left with this screen, which is the settings screen. Now, we could do automatic settings, or I can customize them myself, which I think I'm going to customize, and see what actual options there are. That's, yeah, type of network, automatically get device drivers, yes, 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 yes. Now, the location data. No. Set up an account. So this is probably going to link into the Windows Live, where you put in your Live ID. which I believe I do, which I don't use it all that much. Now I get the email. There we go. Very tedious setting up these operating systems. Windows 7 is so simple. Because, you don't have any of the account stuff thrown in there. Hi. Oh no, more setting up. How long is this gonna take? The store. That's what I'm curious about. Because I know the store in Windows 8 was tied into the whole Metro interface. I'm curious what they did with the store now. Yeah, let me pause this and wait for it to do something more interesting than your apps are installing. Alright, and as you can see, now Windows is all installed. Now, I have been actually using this for a couple of hours because I had to get my screen recording software and I had to get, my drivers installed and get their system all ready. And I've already noticed a few things that I'd like to talk about with this build. Now, this is a very early version of this whole Windows 10 preview. In fact, it's just a technical preview at this point, so I don't know what things are going to be in the final release. But there are a few things that are a bit odd. Like, I will demonstrate this operating system is really just like a mix of Windows 7 and Windows 8. Like, for instance, you have these applications up here, and these are all the Windows 8 applications. So, for instance, you have PC settings. This is from Windows 8, and this is where you go in and you can change options. And that's all well and good. Now, it's still kind of odd because, like, if you were to go into File Explorer, there's still the typical control panel. I would have expected this control panel to be, implemented into the Windows settings. I mean, I'm kind of glad it's not, and I'm hoping it stays like this. But another way, it's kind of strange to still have the, Windows 8 settings when you have the perfectly good control panel sort of set up for everything. And this, you can't this you can't access all the features of the live tiles. Like, the lock screen. When you lock the computer, it has the same thing that Windows 8 had, where it has, like a picture come down, or a slideshow of pictures come down, and you have to click it to lift it up, and then log in. And you can't access those settings through Control Panel. You have to go through the PC settings. And yet there's other settings you have to go through Control Panel. I'm still not liking how it's all implemented right now, but I'm assuming that this stuff is all going to get settled in the final version of this Windows. So far it's been... I don't have too many complaints about it. I mean, my browser of choice is Firefox. Loaded up no problem. My recording software, which is Camtasia, loaded up no problem. And something else about Windows 10 is the live tiles. Now, these were taken out of the Metro UI from Windows 8. And now they're just tacked onto the Start menu, which I don't mind, really. I feel as though this is how it should have been in the first place. And I am kind of glad if they want to keep the live tiles, they did. Because it is neat. Like, you have news over here. You can put a weather tile and be notified when you got mail and when things are happening on the calendar. And as you can see, these are taken right out of the Windows 8 programs. Or I believe the calendar was the same in the mail, and everything is going to be the same as it was with Windows 8. It's just in a different interface, which I don't mind. And you could do a lot with this interface. I mean, you move the news and drag it down up there. You can resize, and you can actually make it half the thing. I don't want to do that because actually, yeah, you can make it into 4 little squares into one. That probably links to yeah, you see, this is one of the problems I'm having with this version of Windows and Windows 8 too. You have different applications to do the same thing. They still come with Windows Media Player. But you also have a completely separate music player. It's just kind of it's kind of strange to me. Windows System is the same sort of thing. This version of Windows does still have the full functionality of the command prompt. Actually has added support for copying and pasting information into the command prompt, which may or may not have been in the command prompt of Windows 8. I remember when I was looking at stuff about this Windows 10, that was one thing that someone mentioned. Calculator, yeah, same as it ever was. You also get the Welcome to Tech Preview, which just leads you to a website. Okay. Fair enough. But I mean, I can see the progress of Windows 10. Like, it links up directly into your cloud, or Microsoft OneDrive, essentially. So, yeah, it links up with Microsoft OneDrive, which used to be SkyDrive, and that's their cloud service. You sign, I think you get 4 gigs free or 5 gigs free when you sign up, and if you stay. Once you have it a while, they give you 25 gigs free. That's what I had, at least. They might have changed that since then. But it's constantly syncing with your documents and your things that you put into this folder, putting it back online. That is a nice feature. They were never able to implement that properly into Windows 7 because they never had it as part of the operating system service to do so. You can actually modify this start menu. And you can add... See, this is another thing. There's no computer directly on the desktop. They have PC settings, documents, pictures, videos. The good thing about that is you can modify it just like you could in Windows 7. And you can add things like the downloads, and this PC is now my computer. And link to music, and even a home group link. And you can add control panel, which I'm going to do, because I much prefer... Whoa, what happened there? Okay. That's right, yeah, and you can make this taller. As tall as you want to. I really like the what they did with the start menu. Because they wanted to change it, but they knew they had to continue having a start menu. So, I really do like what they did with this. Personalization options, yeah, it doesn't really match. What sort of backgrounds and themes did it come with? Lines and colors. And flowers. Interesting. Any new screensavers? Probably not. I love how they've all pretty much stayed the same. But I'm actually going to be using this for quite some time. This is installed on a, real computer, by the way. I don't think I got a chance to mention that. In fact, I don't know where you get to the PC information. Actually, can I do this PC? Properties? Okay, they still have that in from Windows 7, because I know there's a separate option in the PC settings that gives you all the information. But yeah, this is actually the Dell small form factor PC that I picked up out of a rainstorm. And I use that because all I have to do is open up the dock and swap out the hard drive in the inside. Very simple. Yeah, I don't know, this is the same sort of issues I've had with Windows 8, and it still lingers in this version of Windows, though it's not quite as bad because they give you that start menu. I'm kind of been hearing people describe, and I can kind of agree with them. This Windows 10 preview is pretty much just Windows 8 with a taskbar added onto it, and a few extra things changed. Which, for all intents and purposes, might be what Windows 8 should have been in the first place. But yeah, this is the lock screen. You can choose the picture for the lock screen. I kind of like that one, actually. Yeah, PC info. There's the information there. All the same information in a different spot. It confuses me. I guess I couldn't just streamline everything into one location. I have a feeling it's going to go more towards them getting rid of Control Panel and going with the new PC settings, probably. And if that's the case, it's going to be a bit... It's going to take a little bit to learn that. Update and recovery. Yes, you see you have Windows Update here. But then into Control Panel, you have a separate Windows Update. And this, I don't know if they're the same Windows Update program, but I had a situation where I was trying to get down drivers installed through this, and the update search in the other menu was searching. Well, it was trying to install, so it wouldn't do installation. This didn't pick up that was installing. I don't know if that's a bug or they're two separate services. I'm hoping they're not two separate. They can't be two separate services. But anyway, I'm going to be pretty much using this in my home theater PC for a couple weeks and see how I get along with it. I kind of like it. It's a nice... I really do like the start menu. How they reorganized everything. It is a little bit quicker. I mean, this is on a 5400 RPM hard drive right now. And it's considerably quicker than how Windows 7 would run on the same hard drive. I have an SSD in here right now that I'm running Windows 7 off of. So that's quite a bit faster. But yeah, that's I guess as much of a preview as I can provide. Actually, let's one last thing. Let's see what's in the store. Which, yeah, at least it's not like with Windows 8 where it pulls this into full screen and you have no taskbar at all. That's what what Microsoft said that they're trying to do with this, is to always have the taskbar. Let's see here. It's very similar to an app store on like cell phones and whatnot. It's really not that surprising. Because this is like exactly how it was with Windows 8. So yeah, this is a preview and you can kind of tell it's a preview. Though to be perfectly honest, I don't know how much is actually going to change with the new, when they actually finish this. Because I don't know, I have a feeling it's still going to wind up being two, similar but different things. And if that's the case, I don't know how well it's going to do. So, anyway, I think I've droned on enough about this, as I really don't have too much else to say. It's just trending now. Yeah, that's pretty neat. You can do searches directly from the desktop. I will say it's pretty as snappy of an operating system. I mean, for what it's running on, it's a Pentium D, 3 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, an ATI Radeon 5450, and a 5400 RPM hard drive. It's a pretty snappy operating system. I mean, they've done very well with trimming it down to save resources. The internet's just because I'm on wireless right now. Because I didn't have a wire running over here at this point. Oh yeah, one other thing. If you search for certain applications and they're in the store, this will actually pick up on programs that are in the store. Like you see, we have normal Notepad that came with Windows, Notepad 8, and Notepad Classic. These are both in the store, and I don't know what the two differences. I don't know. I'm pretty sure these are all. Yeah, I have no idea. It's kind of neat having the store with all. You can put reviews and everything into the App Store, published by Alpha 3114. Okay, so these aren't they're programs from different people that wind up on the store, as well as the Microsoft ones. That's pretty interesting. You'd search for an application, and if you don't have it, there's a chance it'll pick it up. Like, I kind of thought it would pick that one up. Chrome Scope, Chromecast, and Chrome Browser in Google. So that's just going to lead me to the website. Guess that's not in the App Store. I haven't looked through the App Store. I haven't been using Windows 8. I stuck with Windows 7 because I didn't like the interface enough to switch over. But anyway, I think I've said about as much as I can about this operating system. I look forward to seeing what it turns into in the future. I'm also kind of worried to see what gets changed and what doesn't get changed. But anyway, thanks for watching. Major Chip, signing out.